Hi, welcome back. You'll have finished chapter 5. I know that you'll have had a really good look at your database and you've worked out if the data that you're collecting is working for you. I know that you'll have looked at some of the fields that you need to include and that you've had to think about how is it that we're going to use and apply this data and this segmenting in the future to make it work for our business and to really support our customers and to support our business. So stick with that because it's a critical, integral linchpin in your business. That database must be working for you and not against you. In chapter 6 we look at building relationships. So we've talked a lot about what we need to do, but how do we actually go ahead and build that relationship and get that online presence happening so that people want to relate to us and want to be around us? And we call it in neuro-linguistic programming rapport. How do we build rapport with our audience? And that's very much by the language we use and the way that we communicate and how accessible we make ourselves. And of course video is a really powerful way to do that. We gather insights into a personality or a business or a person through video, and that's absolutely irrefutable. That there's no denying that. And we also include in relationships, we talk about personalities and being able to appeal to different personalities when you're creating answers. And it's interesting because it's not particularly easy to put this into words, but one of the things I've learned over time is that to what we call match and mirror the way people write to us. So if somebody writes a lengthy and quite wordy and verbose email, then they're going to be reasonably comfortable with a wordy, lengthy, verbose email in return. Whereas, for instance, in my communication with Laurel Langmeyer, Laurel's a very no-nonsense, cut to the chase, busy person. So she generally doesn't put, she never puts in Dear Meredith. She will put in, I'd like to organise a meeting the afternoon I arrive in Sydney. Rebecca, please organise. And that's it. So there's sort of none of, it's not all wrapped up in niceties. And so the way I respond to her is exactly the same. Excellent, I'll be there at 4 o'clock. Great, we're communicating, we're matching and mirroring. I'm matching and mirroring the way that she is talking to me. And I got over taking offence that people didn't say, bye, love, regards. But if somebody does put in, best regards or warm wishes, then I will always respond with a regards to you or best wishes to you and your family, or respond in my words but in an appropriate way. And this is very powerful in building relationships because we're talking to the person in their language. And I'd strongly encourage you to have a look at that. If somebody writes an email or writes to you or creates something that's very technical in nature, then as best as you can in your personality style, and for me technical is not easy, but as best I can, I respond to them technically. Technical is often bullet points or numeric points. Respond to them in the same way, and this will help you a lot to build relationships online. And we can also look at the personalities from the questions they ask. Some people will want to know why do I need to do this social networking thing. Some people will want to know the what, like the nuts and bolts of, well, what is it that I have to do? Other people want to know, well, how do I do it? How do I actually go through the process of signing up? How do I go through doing that? And other people want to say, well, what if Facebook isn't for me but something else is? Or what if I did this in Facebook, how would that work? So, and most people are a combination of personalities, but it's really important that we're responding to and answering all of those questions. And one of the goals of the e-training, so the longer course that we do at the cessation of the ebook, is we can factor in those questions and those personalities much more easily because there's more time and we can respond to specific questions. So when you're building relationships online, be very aware that this is the sort of stuff people might want to know. And it's easy because I am wordy and verbose, as you're probably getting, or because I'm a personality that likes people. I talk and I like to build relationships. It doesn't suit a lot of people. So it's easy for me to respond to somebody like me. It's not so easy for me to respond to somebody who's technical, and so this is where our behavioural flexibility really comes into play. How do we address and how do we accommodate all these different types of personalities? And as we flick through the book, your questions at the end of section of chapter 6 are around other people's websites. We're actually going to critique them again, but from a different point of view, because we've sent you to competitors' websites or to videos throughout the book, but with each time we're taking a slightly different focus, and this time we want to know how well those relationships are being built. We want to know what you're looking at and how it could be improved, and then apply that critique to your own website. And sometimes it's easier to see it in someone else's before you look at your own. So have a think about how you can appeal to the broader market. Who is your audience? If you're in an engineering organisation, you might have people who are really technical and they want to know how and what if. So it's important to recognise who your target market is, and of course there's going to be a spread of personalities there, but you may find that you have a predominant type. So have a think about that. I'll look forward to hearing your results, and you are so close to the end now, and that strategy is just coming together, isn't it? So I look forward to talking to you in chapter 7. Take care.